Guys, so this here is one of the first new animals that we've received or bought. Steve picked this up at the BC Expo while he was there a couple weeks ago. He just brought it back from Calgary. It's a Leachianus Gecko. It's the largest gecko species in the world. He still has a little bit of growing to do, but definitely a good size. I have not thought of a name for him yet, but probably do something food related. I was thinking chicken nugget. I'll see what Steve thinks about that name, but I think that's pretty cute. Just a giant chicken nugget. Maybe chicken strip. They have the cutest little wrinkly butt. They also have these crazy toe pads and pretty sharp claws for what it is. Being in the trees there, they have to hold up this pretty heavy body compared to most geckos. So holding them, you'll definitely get scratches on you. I wonder if I can zoom in here. They don't seem too bad, but when they're holding on tight, you definitely feel it, that's for sure. I, for one, cannot wait until this guy is fully grown. Alright, I'll let him get back, I guess, to awake. It's nighttime, so he'll be starting to get active. And I'll show you the rest of the animals. Alright, this next one is definitely one of my favorite lizards. It's still young. This one here is a frilled lizard, an Australian frilled dragon to be specific. They're called frilled dragons because they do have this frill that they will puff up if they're scared or threatened. If you've ever seen Jurassic Park, the Dilophosaurus that's in that movie was actually inspired by this lizard. Well, the Dilophosaurus is a real dinosaur. It didn't actually have these frills, or at least not that we know of. The frill was entirely made up for movie magic. It was actually so that people could differentiate between the Dilophosaurus and the raptor that was in the movie. They don't spit venom or anything like that, though, like in the movie. But they will open their mouth and chase you if they're kind of freaked out, which is a little unusual for, honestly, any animal, but it's pretty fun. This one is quite tame. This one will also be a really awesome show animal. Kids usually really enjoy these guys. They are insectivores, so they'll eat lots of bugs. I'll let them get back to the tree. Alright, this next creature is definitely one of the weirder ones. Got a pair of Indian sand boas. So, they're sand boas, so they live in the sand. Pretty obvious naming. These guys are from India. And honestly, they kind of look like little piles of poop, especially on their bellies. It's very difficult to take a video of this lady here because she just wants to dig and go and bury herself. So I will bring out the boy and show you him because he's a little bit more calm. This is the boy. He's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit more colorful, not by a whole lot. His belly looks, honestly, even a little bit more poop-like than the girls. But he's not as crazy as her, so once these guys settle in, they'll be quite a bit more calm. I'm going to be using them for shows. Compared to the Kenyan sand boas, these guys have a little bit smaller eyes. They don't look as derpy as the Kenyan sand boas, or more derpy, depending on what you find. I personally don't think that they're as derpy, but Pretty much all sand boas just look a little odd. They have pretty fat tails to kind of confuse or trick predators into thinking that that is their head. Sometimes they'll wag their tail there just to draw attention to that instead of their face so that they can kind of get away. I'm excited to work with these guys though. Even though they're not as pretty as the Kenyan sand boas, I still think they're pretty awesome. All right, up next is something that not a ton of people enjoy. We picked up 3 Asian forest scorpions. These ones specifically are Vietnamese forest scorpions. He's showing a bit of a defensive posture, but I should be able to just scoop up in here. Now, I don't recommend handling a scorpion or a tarantula if you've never done it before, if you don't know if you're allergic or not. I know how I react to venom, so I'm not concerned, but I just want to show them off. So these guys would usually prefer to pinch with these rather beefy pincers there. They don't typically like to waste resources on stinging if they don't need to, so they're typically pretty calm. Once he gets on my hands, he just kind of figures out what's happening and then assesses the situation. These guys will be really awesome for displays and shows. I'm going to get a black light flashlight to show how they glow under UV light. The species with the black carapace typically glows a more bluish green kind of color, a bit of a turquoise. It's very bright. So once I get a black light flashlight, I'll do a video on that. Yeah, I have to get these guys set up now. Get them in their homes. They're pretty simple to care for. They just need a bit more humidity than some other scorpion species. But they're pretty easy going. Try to get a good close-up of the stinger here. It looks intimidating. It's really not too bad. Their venom, if he did sting me, it's pretty mild compared to most scorpions. That being said, scorpion stings aren't as intense as I think a lot of people expect, but you don't necessarily want to get stung either way. But it's not deadly or anything like that. For me personally, I'm much more timid about these pincers here, because when they clamp down, it hurts. They are very strong, and if they don't want to let go, they just kind of keep pinching. So last up, we have these apple crabs that we picked up. We got 4 of them in total. Here's one of them here. They're a small species. They don't get super big, usually 2 inches or so. They're a communal species. They're mostly terrestrial. They do like to dip in the water now and again. This one does not want to be handled by me right now, but we'll just look at them. Their color changes depending on their mood as well, so that'll be exciting to kind of see and witness. And here's another one. They like to bury themselves. think the fourth one is tucked away back there right now. They'll be a fun species to work with and observe. I'll probably end up just sitting here watching them constantly. They are not overly thrilled with me invading their space right now, so we'll let them get to sleep. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.